Okay, so what I've done is that I brought in Angular X YouTube directly into this project, and we're having a problem where we're not able to detect our change player event. So I've added a debug statement here into the original source on change, and we're going to see if this is working. One of my concerns is that now over here on my player, under shared player, I should have this YouTube component where I'm passing an ID and change, which is passing event. Here's output change passing this emitter. So if I run it, and log back in, sign in. Okay, so right now, it's not showing me my playlists, which is interesting. But it is firing, so the reason for that is when it's checking its connection, it should have one in there. It doesn't currently, so we'll log out, log back in. Look at playlists. So it's not registering this connection. So in my unconnected, it's going to not pass in a username here. That was interesting. Let's try it again. Because this is connecting to my OpenDJ hub, and there is nothing here that it's passing. So when I look at the application on the front end, when I'm connecting to a room, that should be connecting to the hub. And in this one, I want to say my OAuth service. And we're going to say if this.oauthservice.is authenticated, right? Isn't that something that we have in here? Or what service is it called? Oh, it's your, if your this.hubservice.is connected, then we want to do this one. And then on the app.ts, when we're connecting to the hub here, I only want to do this if this.hubservice.is, no, you should have a is authenticated here. If this dot is authenticated, then you want to do this connect to hub. Hey Metin, how are you doing? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Let's log in. This time, value cannot be null. So I log out. I don't get my unconnected. I log in. I should get an unconnected. It's not firing my unconnected at all, which is very weird. So let's do another session. Now it's never connecting. So that's because it's not authenticated based off of the identity claims on ng-init. So we need to have this one up here as well. No unconnected again. Let's try it again. We log in. Good morning, I'm fine. Okay, this time I got it. I do have a token. I should get a username and an ID, and I do. So that works. And if I look at playlists, I don't understand how it can't have the ID. It's being created in here when I'm doing my onConnected. So here, let's go ahead and make it if my string dot is null or white space of my token. Because it should never be deleting that. If I look in the whole project for a remove, where we are doing the DQ, here, right? And then this is where I'm queuing the song. Because it has a connection ID, but it has no token. Is that correct? So in my hub, where I'm doing my check connection, I'm going to break on this. Let's go ahead and run it again. Oh, you got to get your votes in, guys. Okay, so that worked. Now when I get my ID here, my connection ID is XMU, and it's not returning one. So I need to look in my database really quick because I think it's erroring out on connected. So we'll log out again, log back in. Yeah, it's still erroring out on connected. I don't have a token. It's not passing a token when it connects. So that's here. When you're connecting to hub on ng and init, you're doing it too early. We need to have in here a private has connected to hub, which is a boolean. And now I want to say if it has not connected to the hub, then we want to connect to the hub. And here I want to say if this dot is authenticated, then we'll also connect to the hub. And we'll say and it has not connected to the hub. Same thing here. So we'll log out. I want to log back in. Okay, here's my connection. It has a token. Looks like it's connected twice here. This is wrong. So we need to do a has connected to hub equals true. This time it made it all the way down and it created the connection. So now I should see playlists, and I do. So it's just a little bit of a bug there. So here's the playlist that we currently have with our 2 songs in it. When we start a song here, one thing I want to do is I want to check a separate session. So we'll open up another window here for my localhost 4200. And we'll log in here as a Google member. Just a second while I input a password. Okay, back with you. Now you can see that we're connecting here. And when we do this, it says it still failed somewhere early on. So let's fix that, because this is a big issue. It says it never passed my token. So inside of my service for the connection, when I'm getting this access token from my OAuth server, if my access token does not equal to undefined, and my access token does not equal to null, and this is authenticated and it has not connected to the hub, then we're going to connect to the hub. Otherwise, we're going to do it here in our OAuth subscription. So let's log out. Log back in. Make sure you get your votes in, guys. We need them to match up. If you don't get your votes to match up, it'll just restart the round. I need to fix that. This time it passed a null token. And your access token does not equal to nothing. says my access token is null. So here, if I did an alert with my access token, let me go ahead and run this up here. And we'll grab all of these conditions. We'll try it again. Okay, good. It's not trying to connect this time. Now it connected, and it passed the access token. Good. So that looked good. And now when I go to my room, if I wanted to join this room, which is a different user, it doesn't start, which is fine, because it's requesting the state from this one, and then it's kicking it back. But if I was to stop this and go back into the room and restart it, it should start both up. So the next thing we need to do is capture our player state change. So if I look at my YouTube component, looks like I'm creating this new player here, and then I have this on state change event. And this is where I think the error is from. So if I look at my YouTube GitHub, good morning CM Griffin, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the channel with a party of 35. Welcome to the channel, guys. In case you're new, you don't know me, I'm Rob. I'm streaming during the week, a little bit during the weekend. We're working on our app here called OpenDJ Radio. It's an Angular CLI app with an ASP.NET Web API core for the backend. We're using SignalR for the data transfer layer. What we're doing right now is we're getting our on change event chain hooked up on my YouTube player, and I'm using Angular X YouTube for it, but it seems as though it's not working correctly, so I need to look at the actual player source, and we need to look at event listeners and find out why this isn't working. Good morning there, John. How are you doing? Tao TH, good morning. Gunny, welcome. How are you guys? If you guys haven't, make sure you check us out at our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. We're up to over 340 developers, and also we've got a lot of these videos are at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com as well. So we don't want this one. We want the event listeners JS, and it's on ready is my event that I have, and then I have another one here called on player state change. But I don't even see where that's being subscribed on here. So what about this one, player controller? We have events, it's called on ready. Which is on player ready, so that's not right. Demo.js, we have a on state change. Which should be doing my on state player state change right here. So let's do an alert on this. I'm going to say on state change, and then here I'll do an alert on this for my on ready.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be building a .NET Core.
Somebody needs to check that website.
And this is going to be for
you can get around that with you can get around that licensing by using what is it? OpenSS? No. Oh my gosh. Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt is what you want. So I'm still not getting my event here. But I did get my on ready. But it's not getting my next event, which is on state change. So it's not detecting my state change still. Anybody have an idea why this would not be detecting a state change? This is the on change where we're binding it to the component. So we can do a alert here, and we can do this from component.
Okay.
Yeah, that's firing from the component.
A .NET Core website today, and this is.
Okay, who is that? Gunny, thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate that. If you have any questions what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. If it's an object, the whole object needs to change, not a property. So object to assign would cause state change if it's the same as React. You need to change the whole object to use some state dependency explicit on the property of an object. Not sure I'm following, Robert Tables. Here, if it's an object, then the whole object needs to change. Object.assign would cause state change if it's the same as with React. So this is working. Who is that? Vamic64, thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat. If you pass in a property of an object, then changing that property would trigger a state change. But I'm doing it here using this YouTube player. I'm not getting this on state change even in my YouTube player. Yeah, I am setting some things on the component here with these two output variables. So let me take these out for now and take that out, and then I'll look at my see, it's like it's never even firing from this player element. But I don't have that object assign. I'm using the YouTube player. says can't bind to template. So here under my playlist, pardon me, under my shared for queued, player. I should be binding to ID and this. So let's cut these things out for now. Okay, I'm getting on state change now. So I've got it. I've got it out. It's from these properties. On state change. Good. On change fired. Okay. So we're making progress here. So the problem came from. Hey there, Lammin BR. How are you doing? Welcome to the Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Yeah, but you were right. It is these props. So if we put this one back as a video ID, and I run it again, says that it's not a part of the YouTube component, but it is right here. On state change, on change fired, okay. Okay. And that's happening in the player component. Now we're getting it on change. Right? On state change. Never mind. Let me find that. No, I'm just trying to get it so state change is being... There we go. So now it's outputting here. Now we need to run my events. So back in my component, we can enable my change event emitter and my change. And we're going to say alert change working, emitting now. Okay, so that's working. So then we're going to emit this change one, and I need to, on my player, add back in the change event. And I'm going to change this to be called on state change. We'll try it again here. Test 2 is now firing. We'll also put in this one for my onReady. And test 2 fired. Let me go ahead and go back to the main room. Test 2 fired, which is from here. And it should be outputting my event into the console. And it is. Finally. So is the problem just the name of this on-state change? So to double check this, what I can do is I can open up my Explorer and I can get rid of my YouTube component here for just a second. And then in my app module, I can add in here a YouTube module from Angular X or whatever that was called. And we wanted to add in we can get rid of this one. And then this one, we should be able to get YouTube module from the Angular X. So let me get the Angular X site up. Yeah, but see, the thing is, and Codephobia says maybe it's reserved for change events. The thing is, when you look at the example, they're using on change. But what I found is that inside of the actual code base, they're calling on change. So it's just kind of we need to call it a different one. So we need to include my Angular X YouTube here. And then we want to include the YouTube module. And then I should be able to log out and log back in. Okay. When I look at my room component, I should be passing in a services here for, a shared for player. And I should have this on state change and on ready. And here's my on ready and my on state change for the YouTube component. Now it's no longer firing. But it's not even firing on my on ready. It must be doing this one. It is. But now it's back to not working. We'll try one more, which is on player state change. No. You using NGRX? No, what is that? No, I haven't used it. I'll have to look into it after today's stream though. So I'm okay with this not working because we can just bring back in our source here. Like this, put it in shared. And then I can come back over into the app component TS. And I can scrap the app module, this one. I want to add my YouTube module. Test 2, and there's my message event. I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. I can't get these types to get recognized. Leave the page. I think it's working on the first component, but not the second. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to the page. Okay, good. And we're getting our message events. So back here under player, it's not firing my test2. We'll log out, we'll log back in. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's working fine. So here we are in our state change events. And now I need to look at what these events actually contain. So I should have a event on state change ID channel, the event, my current target, my paths, my source. Where does it say what the state is? Okay, so what it says I should be able to do is I can do a... Looks like I was passing the wrong event. Okay. So what I should be able to do here is do a on-state change with my switch on my event.data. And in this, I should be able to do a yt.playerstate.ended with a break. And then a case yt.playerstate.playing with a break. We need to have one for paused. One for buffering. One for queued. And then one for default. And all I want to do here is a alert, which will be called playing, just to make sure that this is working. Paused, buffering, queued, other. Now I'm going to pull open my page here. Go to Open DJ Radio. Oops. My bad. Here we are. We can log in. It says other event. I look at rooms. I look at playlists. I go back here. I was expecting this to load by ID, but it says my YouTube ID is undefined. Okay, now it's trying to load a video by ID, right? Because it should be coming off of my playlist. And it did. But now it's no longer emitting my events. Queued. Well, this is how they spell it. So it's a different queue, I guess. But now I'm no longer getting events again. Oops, it wasn't that one, it was this one. Okay, so I'm gonna look at playlists, I'll look at rooms, I'll go back here to currencies. Okay. Can't read in my YouTube service. Don't you have a, under my services, a YouTube service? Which is your set player here. Loading by video ID. It says it's undefined. So are you ever setting the player here? Yeah, so let me check this one. Yeah, it's never setting the player now. On ready and on state change. So it never ran this one. Okay, so as soon as I add this emit on YouTube component, it stops working. It stops detecting my state changes. Yeah. As soon as I do this, it stops working. Yeah. And now they're all working. So in my player TS, this is working now, but we're never doing this alert on ready player. So now it's never having this emit. So if I cut that, never firing there. So why would, when I emit from here, why would this break it? Can you show me the emitter at the top? Sure. Yeah, as soon as I do this, it breaks. So here's my emitter. We're going to do a alert here to see if this is a testing. See if we get this one. Yeah, that one's firing. This one's working. Can you show the output event on the component HTML? The component doesn't have any HTML. It has it's a module. So I have this, which creates the iframe. This is for the player ID where I'm binding it. But as soon as I do this, I lose my events. Where are you catching the omitted event outings? Both of them. So these things are emitting to player component, which is here. Which I'm capturing on ready and on state change here. So now it's emitting correctly and I'm getting the is ready, but I'm no longer getting the player calls it ready and change, and then I bind it here to on ready and on change. I'm going to call this changed. And then changed. And no, it's losing it there. So maybe if I don't do this, yeah, that apparently worked. So by not setting in YouTube service my set player, is it this reframe? I think it's reframe. Yeah, now it's working. So it was my reframe is what was causing the problem. Because it's redrawing it, so it's not reassigning the stupid. Okay. Well, that's what it is. So one more time then, I'm going to open up my shared folder and I'll move over my YouTube components. Because I should just be able to use the other one. Which is Angular. How do you, what was the link? This one. Who is that? Mr. ABB. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions what I'm working on, don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. I think we're good there. And now in my player component, I can add back in my video ID. And look at my app. And I need to, in my player component here, I want to get a console.log on ready, and then a console.log event. And there we can see on ready. Still not getting my events now. We're going to say this is called onChange. This is called onChange. Back to not working. So we do have to have the custom component in here. Like that. Video ID is gone now. On ready, on change event. Looks good. So where are all my alerts on this? We have one here and here. And then probably throughout are my YouTube component. I have one here. We don't care about that. Or this one. Hey there, Alfonso. How are you doing today? Okay, we'll look at this again. Looks good. And I'm getting my events here. I should have a onChanged event. Hey there, Alfonso. How are you doing today? Welcome to the channel. Whoops, I forgot to, I wanted just to do a console.log on ready, and then a console.log on change. And we're good to go. Okay. That was a lot of fun to capture that. Thank you, sir. You just joined Twitch and you're the first person to follow. Don't want to distract you there. Good morning. Would you like to play a game, Mr. Rabibi? Welcome to Twitch. Let's play a game, and then when the game is over, I'll probably take just a short little break. And let's go ahead and do a... I have to restart this. Hey there, LafferEXE. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Hey y'all, I gotta take off for some stuff. Have a great rest of your stream. All right, Robert Tables, thanks for kicking it with us for a little bit today, this morning. And then also let's get a game going here. Okay. So what I want to do here is I need to, on my change event here, when we're doing a pause, I need to do a if this is my well, I could do an event here, but what it is I need to check to see if we are in the home room. So if I look at my room service, I should have this application user room currency. So here, if my this dot room hub room service dot room connection is owner. Then what we want to do is I want to this dot room service dot, and I should have a request pause like that. And so now in my room service, I need to have a function here called request pause, which returns void. You guys got to get a majority vote in order to get the game to progress. So here we're going to do a if this dot hub connection, then we want to do an invoke. And it's going to be called a request pause. And I should do this in the, well, it's okay. So now over on the Web API side, in the hub, under my room hub, this one is if my string dot is null or empty of my token. So if it's not. Okay. And then here we needed a request pause. Public asynchronous task called request pause. And what we need to do here is we need to get our connection, which is my service.read connection by my context.connection ID. And this is a application user room connection, which gives me my application user room. You have a, hold on here, request songs queue, request room. It's in your connection. You have a unconnected. We're doing a receive room, receive song next, or receive song state request. So that's going to be your receive spawn, and then when we start the app, it goes to the group of the room code. So here it's a await my clients dot group of my application user room connection dot room dot. We need to get the room here. Var application user room equals await my service dot read application user room asynchronous of my application user room connection dot ID. And now I want to say if my application user room connection is not equal to null, then I want to get my application user room. And now again, if my application user room does not equal to null and my application user room dot is the owner, then we can send this out to everybody in the group for the application user room code. And then we want to send it asynchronous, and this is going to be a receive pause. And so now over here on my receive pause, it doesn't have any data that we're passing across back. And the only thing we want to do is a this.YouTube service. No, we need to have a new event for this called a pause request received. And then this is a new subject of a string. And then this is a this dot pause request received dot next of a receive pause. And then down here we want to have a get pause request, which is a pause request received. And then in my YouTube service, where I can have an injection of my hub service, my room hub service called room service. I can do a new, this is called a pause subscription, which is a subscription. And then in my on init and on destroy, like that. You might like NGRX, numbered services littered with subjects and as observables. That I might, that will get me onto it. Am I allowed to do these on init and on destroys in a service? I think so. So we do ng on init, which is a void, and then an ng on destroy, which is a void. And then I can do my this dot my pause subscription dot unsubscribe, and then in here we can do a this dot pause subscription dot is equal to my this dot room service dot request pause dot subscribe. Get pause, my bad. Dot subscribe, which is going to be my pause string. And then when we do this, all we're going to do is a this dot player. No, we have a this dot pause, right? Do you have a player dot pause, or is it stop video? Player.pause video. Looks good. So now when I run this with the back end, I have one error here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and break on my back end. We'll start up the front end. I should have two different windows here that I'm working in. So we can log out here, log out, and then we can log in here in the correct one, and then also in Twitch here. That's good. And then we do a pause, and it did send a request pause over here, and it's going to get my room, and it says that I am... Interesting. We'll have to check that again, because I am the owner of this room. So the connection's good. We get the room, which is null, it says, because it's of my application user room.id. We'll restart it. I don't know if you guys are going to get this word. Not a lot of people are voting right now. Okay, it's working. We run it. We pause it. It works here. We get our connection. We get our room. And now we're going to send it to the entire room, which is pause. Now, can I do an accept? And then here we can do a new list of string, which is going to be my context.connection ID. So now we can actually test this thing out with 2 sessions. So we're going to, looks like that this thing's not connected. Okay, it's connected here. We're connected to the wrong room. We want to be connected to this room. When we start it, it should start in this one, and it does. And then when I pause it, it paused it on the other screen. Good to go. Okay, on my client side, when we receive in room service a get song state request, we get this receive song state here, and this is going to be a I song state. So we need to have a song state received. Too bad. The word was Yorkshire. It's a tough word. And we need to have a I song state request. And so here, this is going to be a this.song state request received, dot next, and it's the song state request. Down here, we need to have a get song state, which is an observable called a I song state request. Like that. And so now in my player, when we get my this is a song state request subscription, and then we also need to have a song state subscription. Like that. So now when we get this dot song state subscription, so be equal to this dot room service dot get song state dot subscribe, and it's going to be a song state. And all we're going to do is I'm in my YouTube component. I should do a this dot YouTube service dot load video of my song state dot now when I look at this, in my receive song state, all I'm doing is passing back this request, which has a connection ID, a player ID, a current time, and a song queued ID. I think this should also have on it a song queued VM called song queued. So I can do a var song queued equals await my service dot get song read song queued. Read song queued asynchronous of my request. Hey there, Onassis3314. How are you doing today? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. And then we want to do request.songQueued is equal to this. So that way, over here on song state request, I need to look at my interfaces, and we're going to have this one come back here with a song queued, like this is an I song queued, which extends I song state request. Like that. So now in my room hub, when we are getting my song state response, it's like that. Song state response received. Right here, this is a I song state response. Like that. Okay? Which means on my player component, this is a song state dot song queued dot song dot ID dot YouTube ID. And then we have a this dot YouTube service dot seek. And this needs to be in song state dot current time. And then we want to do this dot YouTube dot service dot play. Now when I look at my song state request, we are getting a player state here, which is a number. So now I want to say if my song state dot player state is equal to my YouTube dot player state dot playing, then we want to play it. Okay, if I log out, Wrong one. There's an incognito window here too. And I go to playlists and playlist and currency. So it looks like it needs to log me out here, because it doesn't have the connection for this thing anymore. Okay, this time, when we join the correct room, it should request this video and play it. So, who is that? D. Zorni, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions when I'm working on, don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. We've got an active and supportive community. Thank you for being a part. So in here, this is song state response subscription. And we're going to say alert received song state. So it never received the song state. Did it? Maybe. I never see it receiving the song state. So on the back end, oh, well, that's why. Hello, I'm just trying to get back into coding and stuff. That's a good thing to do. How old are you? Tell me about yourself. Let's go ahead and log out. Log in. Go ahead and log out. Log in. Go to the room. Never received my song state. So in my hub on connected, we have a function here called receive song state request. Which is this. Have you ever worked with Xamarin? Yeah, I have a little bit. Never started the song state request. Okay, so here, when I'm requesting my channel connections, it tells me there's 360 of them. And it's going to send it to the first one only. So that's not correct. We want to do that for each of them. And that's because my connection is not being destroyed by the ping right now. I'm 15 and I like making websites, trying to make challenging things in the process. JavaScript or front, TypeScript, asks Nar. Nar, are you asking me or Dizorni? We go to the right room. Okay, we're going to get my connections, which should be quite a few. Receive song state and hub. Now it should receive my song queued, which it says nuh-uh. So it never actually sent over a song queued ID. And then a song state, and it passed it back, and it's going to give me a null because when I was in my YouTube module, my player, yeah, this is fine. And then in the just looking for where I subscribed it, just a second. Right here. Song queued ID equals this dot song queued. And that gets set from this dot song queued. So we go back to the playlist, we log into the hub. That works. I go back, I go to the next one. It should be requesting here from my room. And it did. The connections should send it across. Song state received in hub. My song queued ID is still nothing. And if I look here at my weighted value, my ID of this is nothing. So what that means is over here on this song request, instead of passing my song queued ID, I want to also pass over my song ID. And this is going to be a song VM, which changes my interfaces quite a bit here. My song request is this and a song ID. And this is going to be a song with a iSong. Okay. It's a MP3 or MP4 player project. It's a web app project. Hey, Dzorny. All right, I'll see you a little bit later. I do mostly visual FX and stuff, so I'm trying to make a somewhat unique site for a place where I can put my videos. Okay. So now we need to update this. This one needs a song ID equals this dot song queued dot song dot ID. And like that. Are there any other errors in here? Player component. YouTube component. tells me it's erroring. So let's go ahead and recompile this. And then in my room hub, I want to do a read song asynchronous of my song ID. Like that. Error in says I have an error I wonder what the problem is here. Well, it doesn't like this interface. It's duplicated. How many hours a day do I code? I don't know, 12? I get tired at some point. Okay, so we'll log in. We need to make sure the backend is running. This is my client. We'll make sure that we join the correct room. It's going to receive the song state and the hum. It received my song state, and then it started at the correct length, right? So if I'm over here at 30 minutes, and I jump into this room, it didn't start me there. It started me at the beginning. So is it that in the YouTube component called where are you using this play? Here. We're loading it and then we're seeking it. To me, that should be working. I'll be back within some time. May you be on stream? I might. So I need to look at the object which is being sent across here. And then also I want to get rid of the received. That message, you have another alert in here somewhere. That one. Okay. We'll jump ahead to 43. Now I want to jump into my room. Here it is. The song ID is good. The current time is good, 26,616. That's right. So it never seeked. Why wouldn't it seek? Never seeked. Why wouldn't it seek? I don't think you can seek until the video is loaded. So is there a callback then? Let me look at this one. We're going to do a YouTube and GitHub. The second parameter in load video is the time that you want to start it from. Okay. I apparently don't have overloads in TypeScript. Okay, so we'll call it load video and seek. Try it again. There. Now we're synced up.
Which will be fine. So we'll just do a string here of these partial models. That. There's no way to specify a generic on that.
Okay. Thank you. So the next thing that we need is when this thing changes state from pause to playing, we want to do a if this dot room service dot application user room dot is owner, then we want to do a this dot room service dot let me mute those. We want to do a request play. So when I look at this one, I need to have a request play. And when this happens, we need to have a interface here called
building a .NET Core website today.
called a well, I guess it's going to be a song state request here, right? So in here, we're going to have a request play, which is going to have a song state request. And we want to get the application user room connection and make sure that it's the owner. And if that's the case, then we're going to broadcast this out to the room code, except for this connection. And it's going to say receive play. And we want to pass in the request. So back over here, we need to have a receive play, which will pass in a song state response, which is a I song state response. Hey there, Zachariah. Wasim, welcome. How are you doing today? And then this one, we need to have a new type called a play response received. And this is an I song state response. In this one, I also want to have my song is equal to my await request, service dot read song asynchronous of my request dot song ID. Because here we want to do my request dot song is equal to song. And this is a song or play response received, and this is going to be a song state response. And then I want to have down here a request play, which is a, don't need this one, sorry. I meant to say I have a get play request, which is an iSong state response and a play response here. And then in my room hub, my room, in my shared component for the player, here we're going to request a play. And up here, if I get a new subscription called a where am I pausing it? In YouTube service.ts. Okay, I'm fine with that. So we'll put this in here, and I'll call this as a play subscription. And we need to add it in down here. So it gets unsubscribed. And now this dot play subscription is going to be a get play request, and this is going to be a song state. And in this case, what it's going to be is a this dot load video and seek to my song state dot song dot YouTube ID and the song state dot current time, and then this dot play. And that should do it. So now when I go back into my localhost 4200 and my localhost 4200 and I log in here, try it again because it wasn't up and running on the back end. Same thing here with this one. Give me just a second to put in a password, please. Okay, back with you. Here we are. So now when I'm here and I do a pause, it should be good to go. And now I should do a pause, unpause. And I'm not in the right room, so let's join the right room. Good, it's starting at the right place.
That my footer should still be fine.
And now I should be able to do a pause, and it paused on that side. And if I do a play, I was expecting it to do a request to play. Right here, request play should be doing request play. Oh, and it needs to pass in here the song state request. Which means that where we're calling this here, we need to say the new let request is a type of iSong state request. And then in this we have the song ID, which is equal to my this.songqueued.song.id. The song queued ID, which is songqueued.id. The second. Yeah, that's right. The current time, which is this.get YouTube service dot get current time. The player state, which is this.YouTube service dot get player state, and the connection ID, which I don't care about right now because that's going to be the connection ID of the one that I'm sending it to, so that doesn't matter. So we'll make this a new interface called an iSong play request, which is just that. So this is an iSong play request. Song ID, current time, and player state. No song queued ID. And then this one is going to be a request play with a iSong state play request. Song play request. Now this is weird because I just saw it in interfaces. iSong play request. Good. Get song play request, which is in here. Like this. And you're going to get back here. An iSong play response, which extends iSong play request. And you just want to have this song in it. So you have a get play request play, where you pass in your request. And then up here you have a receive play, which is a iSong play response, called a song play response, which is that. iSong play response. Which is in here. Get song play get song state response, get pause request, get play request. So this should be a get play response. And this should be a get pause response. Like that. This is get play response. Song play response. Looks good. So we'll log out, I'll log in. The backend's not running. Did I terminate the batch job? I did. So we need to serve it. Hey there, Deviant001. Greetings. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing today? Get song state does not exist on Room Hub. So on player component, this is request play, which needs to pass in this request. Okay, that looks good. No, player component. Get song state response. And that should do it. So here we are. Here's our incognito window. Go back here. Go into this again. Request play. We go into the right room.
to
There we are.
HTML.
We pause it. It pauses it. We play it.
Dot render partial.
It plays it.
And the next one here will be what?
So we're making good progress here. I'm lost my way, developed my own video game for almost 2 years and reached the point where I needed advice. All right, tell me about it. What's the problem? So that's working fine now. The next thing that we need is when this song ends.
Every hour it's going to hit only once. Or it's going to hit only once.
Yeah.
Sure, what's going on, John?
So when this thing finishes, this video's probably got a little bit longer still.
And now we should be cached. And we can even
And what we need to do now is we need to have it so when it changes videos that it updates the player. We also need to have it so it dequeues songs when it finishes from the owner. So I think we'll do that next and get our playlist up and going. Okay, but for right now, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back here in 11 minutes. If you have any questions, there's a great to put them in the chat. Also, make sure you join our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios. We're up to over 340 developers there. It's a really great technical resource, and I put these videos all up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Thanks for staying with me through the break. I will see you guys in just 11, let's say 12 minutes. I'll see you in 12 minutes. See ya. Don't touch that dial.